Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the end of the video? This is another paid request, this time from a werewolf. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, whatever, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Cocaine Bear from 2023. Which I know the title got a lot of people excited. I wasn't the most excited to watch this film. After seeing it, I did not hate the film, but at the same time, I felt that it was a diverting time waster with some fun moments. The acting is fine, but the characters aren't really that interesting. There are some decent, funny moments. I do like the musical score. At times, it has a very drumming synth score. I thought that fit well. It's one of those things that at least is short enough to not be too boring. It's about 90 minutes, give or take. It's directed by Elizabeth Banks, and Elizabeth Banks I'm not impressed with as a director. I mean, she did the Charlie's Angels reboot, and this, I don't know, didn't really... I kind of wish someone else had directed it. That would have been maybe a crazier, more insane, like whether it be the director of VFW or the director of even like Willy's Wonderland. I don't know, some other director would have done it. Pretty much it takes place in 1985, and there's a guy parachuting out of a plane, throwing all these drugs out. He accidentally knocks himself out, gets out, it lands in Georgia, and you don't even see the bear like the first scene and first did the cocaine and affecting it. You don't even see that, which I thought was a strange decision. The first time you see it, it's already done that. It attacks these two hikers. And it goes on from there. Now, the people in it, you got Keri Russell, who I think was on the TV show Felicity. She plays a nurse. She has a daughter. The daughter goes out hanging with this kid out to the park. They see the bear decently early on. You also have a forest ranger, and she has this crush named Peter. And then you have these three thugs that are like the three least intimidating thugs you ever see, peppered with all sorts of colors on their clothes. I mean, this makes, I don't know, people from Greece look like people from the Warriors. You also have Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson, or O'Shea Jackson Jr. He's there, and he gets a job with this other guy from Ray Liotta. I think this is like the last film, or one of the last films Ray Liotta did. Who's kind of this... You see in the movies, the head drug guy, but he's working for these other people that we never see. And he's like, I need those drugs that were dumped. You two go find them. So Shea Jackson Jr. rides with this guy, and the other guy, his loved one passed away, Joan, and he whines and mumbles about that. That got old really quick. You also have this detective. It's actually the actor from The Wire. If you remember the line people say, or they show on YouTube, where guys like, oh shit, oh shit. I think the actor's name is Isiah Whitlock Jr. He's in this. It's something about he has his little dog, and hey, can you take care of the dog while I go do this thing and try to find out what happened to the drugs? This feels like trying to be more about the drug movie and the occasional appearance by the cocaine bear, when it should have been the other way around. Because other than maybe 2 bits, the first 35 minutes is more just trying to wrangle all of these different characters. And it's almost to the point like there's too many characters that's trying to, I guess you say, build up, but even then, like, what does it really build up? If you were to ask me four things about Keri Russell's character, I couldn't tell you. She's a mom, she's a nurse. That's pretty much it. The boy and the girl. The boy tries to say some things that an adult would say. The two of them try to eat a little bit of cocaine. Now they spit it out, but I don't think you ever see any residual effects of that, which I thought was strange. I mean, maybe the boy gets a little bit hyper, but you would think there'd be a lot more to that, but there really isn't. And I don't think it affects the girl at all. I'd say the boy, barely anything. There were some funny moments. I mean, for example, there's a bit where it's quoting about bears and the American black bear, but this is quoted from Wikipedia, and that was a kind of a bit funny because so many people, including me, have used Wikipedia, whether it's true or not, as in just someone to just go in and alter some Wikipedia. Or a bear attacks someone, and the next scene we see one of those old drug commercials. Just supposed to take place in 1985. It's the one with like Paul Rubens as Pee Wee Herman and other people, and crack it, hey, this is your brain on drugs. So I thought that was kind of a nice transition. And at times it does have a bit of energy, and like I said, the acting I don't think was that bad. Like Keri Russell wasn't bad. It just, again, there's not a whole lot to her. The bear is CGI, and I can understand that there's certain moments that it'd be hard to do with a real bear. But how do you make a real bear appear to be on cocaine? But at the same time, I mean, look at The Edge with Anthony Hopkins, with Alec Baldwin. Look at what happened with that movie and how they utilize Bart the Bear. If you had moments where maybe they felt that they put a real bear and then go back to the CGI, it'd be so much of a difference that it really take you out of the movie. And I mean, the CGI bear I would say is better than Sci-Fi Channel stuff, yes, but you're still thinking, okay, CGI bear. It just, which I guess, I mean, with the title, maybe you'd be more forgiving. A lot of the kills seem to be off screen. Like, there's a little bit of blood. Like, someone gets attacked and then their body falls to the ground and then they're laid, which that's done CGI. Someone dies off screen, you see the remains where their head's been taken off. It just feels like a movie that had like 3 or 4 crazy moments, and the rest of it is just kind of there. Just kind of there where you're kind of waiting for the bear to come up again because the character's story isn't really that exciting, enticing. The characters don't hook you in. I mean, you think of other creature features like Tremors. If I go back to Tremors in 1990, those characters are very much likable, and you just get who they are. The dialogue seems much more funny and much more witty, and the monsters are done practically. It does have a good sense of humor, but at the same time, that is much more of a satisfying experience compared to this. I mean, even with the bear, they do certain things that I disagree with. Like, this is called Cocaine Bear. Are we really going in this direction? Really? But that would get even more into spoilers. So, it's a diverting time waster, but I think there could be some people would be disappointed that it wasn't crazier, more insane, more gory, more bat out of hell. insanity that they were wishing for. I mean, I would even say I got more fun out of Snakes on a Plane, whereas a title that tells you the movies try to be crazier. Because like, I like Sam Jackson as the lead, and that gave me a bit more of the fun that I wanted compared to this. But they did more into spoilers, so I could properly talk about it. Like I said, I like the score, the drumming of it, the synthesizer. I thought it fit the film very well. It's one of the film's bigger strengths. Some of the song uses, like The Warrior, I am the warrior. So nice song placements in there. Uh, well, some are. Some are just, eh. I mean, to be fair, with an 80s, with a movie take place in the 80s, I think the soundtrack could have actually been better. I wish they would have chosen better songs. Like that song I liked. The song at the beginning, I don't mind. But yeah, I would prefer the better soundtrack. Like I said, I would like the, I like the score. The score in this I thought was better than the soundtrack, but there's a couple of nice bits in there. Like I said, the characters, like the Forest Ranger, there's not much to her other than, she smokes. She's got a bit of an attitude. She's a bit of a bitter lady who has a crush on this guy named Peter. It appears a bit mop top head, deer in the headlights. Hey, how's it going? I love the. I don't want to call them animals. I like them so much. And I didn't think it was as funny as it was trying it to be. Like I said, the two kids were fine. A lot of times in these movies, kids can be very annoying. I didn't find them to be the case. I thought they did fine for what they needed to do. Like I said, there's a bit where they find cocaine, they eat it, but then again, the kid gets a little bit hyper, but there's really, like the boy, I should say, that, uh, but not really any other crazy effects. And the teen girl, like, well, she's younger than that. She's maybe 11, 12, or something. She doesn't seem affected at all. And I said, like, it's like, okay, it's that story, then it's the park ranger story, then it's O'Shea Jackson talked with Ray Liotta and this guy's sob story, and I don't care about his sob story. I thought he was kind of one of the weaker acting caricatures in the movie. And then you got the detective, and you wonder where this is all going, and I'm like, okay, build up is fine, but you really got to give people the delivery. And like I said, there are moments that are kind of fun. Well, before that, like I said, talk about the first 35 minutes. There's the two hikers, and one gets attacked by the bear. But I think maybe you see a body part, but not much. And then the two kids see the bear, and they get freaked out, and it cuts away. Everybody kind of converges on this park. Again, the detective looking for the drugs, O'Shea Jackson Jr. and his buddy looking for the drugs, Keri Russell looking for her daughter, the park ranger, and her crush Peter looking, helping her to look for the daughter. The three thugs, again, Saved by the Bell thugs were more intimidating. They try to fight Ice Cube's son in the bathroom, and he like beats him up. Even that's not handled the best. I mean, I'm not asking for John Wick quality. I mean, it's there, but I don't think Elizabeth Banks is the strongest director in terms of action. I just don't. And also, there's a error where there's a you see enough of a wide shot that he's fighting the person, and there's nothing on his back. But when he goes to the mirror and he looks, then there's something in his back. I'm like, no. Just literally seconds before, we saw enough of a wide shot that there's nothing in his back. Now there's something in his back. Like, come on. Which I find funny because even like you're cheating now. Like there are ways to do that with the framing of the camera, and I said that's why I say Elizabeth Banks. Charlie's Angels 2019, and this film proves she wasn't the best fit. Like you needed. Trying to think of director today. You know what? What was that guy's? I know his name. Guy who did the Hills of Ice remake, and the guy who did Crawl. Why can't I remember his name? That director. If that director did this movie, I think it would have been much more fitting. I cannot believe I cannot remember his name. People in the comments will, or whatever will. But the guy who did the Hills of Ice remake and Crawl, which I enjoyed those two, he should have directed this movie. I think you definitely would have got a lot more out of the fun, the gore, the insanity. I think it would have been a much better fit. Alexander Aja. There you go. Alexander Aja. Sorry. Names I'm not good with. Alexander Aja. Because Crawl, about were they gators or crocodiles? I always get them confused. I think gators. And everything's flooding, and it's a daughter and father trying to deal with it. That was much more fun, much more satisfying to me compared to this. Like Crawl did this kind of thing better. Although that one was a lot less comedic than this. So he beats up the three guys. He wakes one up. Him and his buddy. Hey, where are our drugs? Oh, it's a gazebo. Take us to the gazebo. Keri Russell and the Forest Ranger such find the kid. He's up on a tree. There's a bear. The other guy climbs a tree. The bear goes up and attacks him. Kid climbs down. And that's where you hear screaming. And then his body falls in CGI and the leg falls in CGI. And like I said, there are moments that are funny. I mean, the guy had accidentally put cocaine on himself because he fell in a pile. So the bear finds the leg and does a snort of it, like a line off the guy's leg. I thought that was kind of funny. There's a bit later on where the detective is dousing the cocaine. The bear's enjoying it in a slow-mo shower of cocaine. But it's like that's all they really had about it. And I think there's a lot more they could have done with it. Like the scene that probably had gave that most potential was the sequence involving the ambulance. And again, this is all spoilers. Where it's the two thugs and the forest ranger, and the forest ranger, she's hurt, she's gone bad to get bullets, she's out of it, accidentally shoots someone in the head, and that's actually one of the goriest parts of the movie. Is that from the bear? And she's freaking out. The bear grabs the guy's face and then it cuts away. Later, paramedics get there. One guy opens the door. There's the bear. There's the dead body. And the guy's head is off. The two paramedics get the forest ranger into the ambulance. The bear chases them. Bites the guy's wrist. The wrist is like ready to fall off. The forest ranger's attached to the stretcher, falls out, and she gets scraped along the ground. The paramedic crashes a tree and she goes out the window. Like that right there is what the movie should have been. Much more of scenes like that. If the movie was peppered with a lot more scenes of that nature, I think this could have been like a very fun B movie. Like I would say that's the best scene in the movie. The rest of it, before and after, is kind of ho-hum. And I don't think they really took advantage of this crazy idea of a cocaine bear. And that's the thing is that while I don't think it's as awful as like a Sci-Fi Channel film, like I said, there's some nice transitions. It's short enough that it doesn't overload his running time. Like I said, the acting is not too terrible for the most part. I've seen much worse. Like you have this one scene after that where the two guys, Ice Cube's son and the other guy, find the gazebo. The drugs are gone. They're asking the third guy what happened. Up top is the detective who's in the wire. And they have a standoff, and there's the bear. And the big joke is the bear is so obvious, he goes up to the one guy who was always bumbling about his love, and the bear falls asleep on him. And it kind of goes on and on and on. And then the bear wakes up, and you think, okay, now it's really gonna go to town. Maybe it's gonna. No. The detective does the thing. Bear enjoys the slow mo, then kind of runs off, and then the detective gets shot by. Well, no. His partner comes by, and then you find out she's with the bad guys, and Ray Liotta's there. And Ray Liotta has come by to see what's going on. He shoots the detective. And the detective just dies of his wounds. Did you never see? After that scene, you never see him again, which that was too bad. And it felt like his character was kind of pointless. Like you didn't really need his character. I mean, if you think about it, and the whole thing with the like corrupt cop, nothing really gets done with her. Like she gets away with it, and like you're part of the reason why this other cop died, and you get away with it scot free at the end. I think that was kind of weird. And that's the thing is that you're hoping for a big finale where it's going to be this one-on fight with a cocaine bear, and you know it's maybe there's some kind of party going on in the forest. People are having a party, and the cocaine bear comes in. And during the parties of the 80s, there's some people doing cocaine and blah blah blah. Uh, Whether it be teenagers, adults, group of both, and maybe it could be some kind of business retreat. I don't know, whatever you could come up with in 1985 setting. And the bear comes in, and he's wrecking house, and you get like part of a face off, and like, rips a head off, and or bites a head off, or bites this part of someone. No, the bear instead is turned into a let's feel sorry for it. I'm like, what? Why are we doing this? Because Keri Russell really doesn't have much contact with the bear. I mean, you say she's the lead character. She barely has contact with the bear. Just the part with the getting the kid from the tree, and they pretty much they just wander off across a river. They find another hiker. They find the cave. They go in. They find the girl, the daughter, and there's cubs that are doused with cocaine, but they're not being freaky about it for some reason. Like they're like dangerous type of freaky. And then they go to the back and they find a waterfall. And then Ray Liotta and Ice Cube's son and the other guy and the I'll call her a dirty cop. They go off together. They find the cave. They go in, and then kind of both groups meet at this waterfall. There's a little bit of a standoff, I guess, and then they jump into the water, and the cocaine bear gets Ray Liotta, disembowels him. The cubs start eating a bit of the guts, which was kind of a decent moment. Although the way it's shot, it looks a bit murky and dark, which I get it for where it takes place, but it just, I don't know, wasn't the most pleasing cinematography wise. And it felt like there wasn't too big of a body count, or at least if there was, it seems like a film that should have been a lot gorier, a lot more violent. There are moments of it, And the ending, like the bear gets away and the cubs get away and they're fine, and or they're alive, I should say. It's just the other tears get out, and Keri Russell goes in with her daughter and the boy. O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son, is he was wounded. He's healed up a bit. The one guy was always complaining about Joan. He gets the detective's dog. The female cop, who's a dirty cop, she gets away with it. I mean, yeah, she's like, why did you shoot him? You shouldn't have shot him. But it's still partly your fault. And it felt like just too many characters lived, too many characters got away with it. There's no big battle with the bear. There's no big mano man or woman versus bear. Is there, oh, we feel sorry because it's not her fault that she sniffed the cocaine and she's got two cubs. And then what, we're supposed to root for the bear? Because Ray Liotta tipped some of the cubs, and the bear, the mama bear's protected her cubs, but it's just not that satisfying, at least to me. It just wasn't that satisfying. So I'm watching it, and it's got a little pep in the step. It's got a little bit of little fun moments here and there. But overall, I mean, a Divergent Time Racer may be a bit much to say. But I mean, compared to Maiden and compared to Skinamarink, I'd rather watch this. But it just felt, it had its moments, but it could have been so much more. Could have been so much more, so much crazier, so much more insane, so much more violent. Don't cut away from gore. Don't. It's got a little bit of gore, like I said. It does have a little bit, but I guess not as much as you think. And like I said, the characters aren't that interesting. And like I said, it felt more like a drug movie with the occasional appearance of the bear than a cocaine bear movie with like the occasional drug thing. Like, should have been cocaine bear first and most. It felt almost secondary to the movie. Probably because the CGI bear takes a lot of money, so have it on stream when you can. It's a movie that has, I guess, a better marketing title than a movie. So. I know Elizabeth Banks, oh, to do Cocaine Shark. No. If it's like this, maybe if a different director, maybe get Alexander Aja to do it or something, then maybe I'd be curious. Like I said, I think you have the wrong director for the job. The script, I don't think is as funny as I thought it was. And I don't know. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.